Welcome back to the Realistic Cattle Ranch Challenge on Sunshine Forest. I'm BP, and it's time to get to work. Well, guys, we are still back here in November. When we left last episode, we had discussed going into December for today's episode, but we had a couple of adventures that happened that we had to address before getting out of November, and I figured since we're still here and still doing work, why not bring you guys back in for the first feed on the feed truck. So, the challenge we ran into, we had a couple. The big one was the barn in front of us is not the one we added last episode. I actually downloaded two mods that added milk to that base game barn, and the one we installed last episode did not work with straw at all. I could not get straw to go in and create manure. It would just go in and sit no matter what I did. And I've spent several hours trying to get to the bottom of what the issue was, whether it was we were over past our property line or I was getting conflicting manure heap extensions because we have another one on the farm. And it turns out, after all the testing, that that mod just does not produce manure. So with that in mind, I went to the other cow barn that I had installed and did some testing, and this one seems to work fine. So you'll notice a couple slight differences. The milking machines are in slightly different places, but it holds basically the same number of cows. Both barns held 99 cows. I think the pasture on this one might end up being a little bigger, giving us 1 or 2 extra cows perhaps, but essentially the same barn that we had from a use perspective. You know, what we're going to be using it for doesn't change anything, but it does function. Now, as you guys can see, getting these bales into our new truck-based feed mixer is an adventure because our little Massey Ferguson is not very tall. I would say it is not as tall as it could be to get the truck to work. So let's see what we got going on in here. All right, so it is full, and that is good. I do want to just drive by our new adolescent cow pen, so I think there's a hay bale in here that is hanging out. Now when that happens, it gets pulled into the barn first, and we don't want hay going into our birthing barn. We want the hay going into the other pens, and only TMR going into the new barn. Oh boy, didn't see the tractor there. So we are all topped off with TMR. Let's swing to the back here and get all these ladies fed. The brakes on this truck need just a little bit of servicing. They don't really slow us down very much, but the mixing wagon part works really, really well. So, our first batch of TMR going into the new birthing barn. I figured we'd make a double batch, get this thing filled most of the way up. I'm not even sure how much this one takes. Let's take a look here and see. Okay, birthing barn. So we're at 15,000, and I'd say we're about a fifth of the way there, maybe a quarter. So, assuming it's going to take 2 full loads and hold about 60,000 liters of food in total, we'll call that good. Did it end up taking that hay? No, the hay went to the other barn. That's good. Yeah, I did change the barn names. We have the bullpen for the bulls, Teen Town for the adolescent calves, Adult Swim for the breeding pen, and then our birthing barn and our standard 6 igloos as well. So have everything we need all set up now. So that took 33,324 liters. Let's see. It took, looking at that, took that's the wrong barn. There we go. Took 32,000 on the nose. Looks to have been just about half. So let's go fill up another one. And actually what I might do first, I might throw a couple of hay or straw bales in and go shoot those in real quick. So let's see. Square straw bales. We have 3. I thought we had more than that. Maybe we don't. Yeah, I think that's all we have. So let's go ahead and put 2 of those in. We definitely have to go buy some more. I do think we have a straw blower on our list in the near future. Been looking at a couple of mods to do that. So we'll get the straw put in here. And that is the full extension of the mast. See, that is all we get. Alright, not too shabby. So, in addition to the problem with the barn and the manure heap, I was having some troubles with our new Dangerville bale trailer. Go ahead and watch that straw plane fill up. There it is, just starting to kick in. Yeah, so our new Dangerville bale trailer was giving me some trouble. You guys may have noticed at the beginning of the last episode, I couldn't get the dolly axle lock to work. Which was going to make backing it up and storing all of our bales a bit of a challenge. I felt like, you know, it wasn't the end of the world, could figure it out, could still handle them manually, even if it was just pushing them in. And then in doing the testing with this cow barn issue, I ran into a problem where the trailer started... the straps, for no reason, no one was touching them, the trailer wasn't moved, but the straps were attaching themselves to vehicles as they drove by. So I kept having vehicles get tangled with the trailer like they were strapped to it, which doesn't make any sense at all. So based on the fact that the dolly lock wasn't working and the fact that it was sort of attaching itself to random vehicles that were nearby, I decided to get rid of that. So I'll show you guys real quick. I did find a really cool bale trailer, all rusted out and looking like it's been on the ranch forever. So we did sell the Dangerville. I think we made 5 or 6 or 7 grand on that at sale, and then picked this thing up. This was $1,000, and I'm excited to use it. Looks better on the farm. It's the perfect patina and everything else. So good to go. The one thing with this is it is a true ball hitch, so it only attaches to our international truck. It does not hook up to our Fiat, so we'll have to use a truck to grab our bales. Not that that's a problem, but just something to keep track of. All right, let's get the second round of TMR made. Testing my skills here with the farm, or the Thrustmaster Farmstick. I can tell you we are at the extent of my ability. Anything much harder than this, and I think that other one's going to fall out. Let's just let that first one bail into or trickle into the mixer wagon. Let the second one fall. I'm afraid if I try to drop them, it's going to... yeah, it's going to fall out the other side. So we saved it from falling out the other side. Having this new, bigger feed mixer is just incredible, guys. I mean, 32,000 liters of TMR is just exactly what we need to be mixing every time. I think the cows, based on some of the other testing I was doing with the barns and everything else, we have 42 pregnant females or recovering females in the birthing barn now, and I think they're going to eat about 30,000 liters a day. So definitely going to get through all of this TMR, and glad we're not mixing it at 11,000 liters per time. We can almost triple that. So, oh, we lost one. May have to go back in and grab it. Let's see how much this makes a full load or not. Give it a second to mix in. I did get the big grass field mowed and tedded and baled into hay, so we have just a ton of hay, which is part of the reason the shed looks so full. Let's go ahead and jump in here. Yeah, we're still 4,000 liters short, so let's grab that extra bale that was hanging out. Trying to use these 6,000 liter square bales. I'm not sure where those came from. Oh, and I definitely didn't want to get 6 of them out. We only wanted 1. Well, more bale handling, that's all. More practice. I think a couple of these we can probably... bet 6 of these I can get to just push right in, basically. Yeah, and then just drop these. And then these 6 we can do something very similar. Let's see. Get these guys put back in. I mean, this little mass, you guys, this is insane. That is 6 bales. It is just... I mean, I'm not doing anything crazy with them, but it just is like not a problem at all for this guy to handle 6 bales. That is crazy considered how small a piece of equipment it is. We do have a ton of weight on the back, but I don't think that's too much to expect. And it's just really continues to perform really, really well. So while we have the Massey, let's go ahead, and we have a couple extra hay bales out. No point in putting all of them back. We certainly didn't need all 6, but let's run over. We'll move the Fiat, put a couple in here to get this guy topped off. I did use our new water tank you can see back there. That worked exceptionally well at getting all of our greenhouses full. And then I'll show you guys. We had the old water slurry tank sanitized, cleaned out, and repainted, refurbished to be our milk trailer. So this is the one we had on the farm from the start, basically, or only a couple episodes in. So that has been very nice and being able to move more milk. And let's go ahead and get these guys into the feeding trough. We squeeze them in. Let's see, 2 at a time, maybe. Oh, that looked promising. Let's see if we take it off, if it starts. Jump out and check and see what's happening here. Yeah, they're going in. They're fighting it a little bit. Oh, yeah, we got dancing bales. Dancing bales. Let's see what happens with... Alright, got that one in. This one, we may have to... Let's just do this. These guys are going to be switched over to hay, so we can go ahead and drop this one right here. Cool. And we got all of our loading with the Massey done for the day. Should have our little work light on when we're driving around. A little popped a wheelie there, not sure what that was about, but not a big deal. I assume there's still a hay bale in here. So once again, we're just going to drive by Teen Town, as we're calling this barn, for all of our adolescent cows. And let's just jump in, see if they make sure they're not filled up yet. No, they're not filled up yet. And they'll eat through all of that total mix ration first and then get to the hay. So not a problem to be adding some as we go. So heading around to the back again, get our second load of TMR in our new barn with all of our pregnant cows. I'm excited to have this one up and running. May have to trim some trees and widen the drive a bit there, because Making this a K-turn every time probably isn't going to happen. Go ahead and get them filled up. I'm interested to see how much they take. I'm guessing the capacity's got to be right around 60,000. So let's see. When we get down close to 10, we'll jump back in and check. But the cows now have a pasture to move around in. They've got some trees, some shade. They've got an indoor area. They've got an actual proper milking parlor. So lots of improvements here. So let's see, 55. Yeah, holds exactly 60. Okay, cool, that works. So now we need to, the difference on this one is this barn has a slurry tank built in. The other one did not. So this is actually where the slurry comes out back here. And let's see, we need to get manure placed. So what I want to do is use as much of the manure that we have as we can before we get rid of that manure heap back there. So let's go ahead and get some on our grass fields. Gotta wait for that light to come down. There we go. It's got a nice animation, just takes a little longer than I expected to. Let's not get caught on the inside post there. Okay, here we are. 33,000 liters of manure. Let's get our map up. Let's go spread some manure. Get us open. So one of the things that I have been chatting with some of you guys about in the comments is some mod conflicts or mods not working, you know, which is what I was experiencing with that cow barn. And I like to just, you know, take a minute to share with you guys, you know, when you have a mod conflict or something isn't working as intended, there are a couple things you guys can do. So first and foremost, I would take whatever the latest mod is you're trying to use that you're having a problem with. I would load it up and I would put it into a base game map with no other mods. Only do it with that mod. Maybe a couple of, you know, quality of life ease mods like power tools or easy dev controls or something, just so you can get some of the stuff you need to do some testing. But check and see if the mod will perform in the most vanilla basic map with no extra things going on and everything else. If that works, then you want to come back and add in other mods slowly. You can add in, depending on how many you play with, like this game save, I think I have about 380 mods, because I have some ones that I just keep in all the time, whether I use them or not. You know, stuff for bigger farms that we're not going to use on this, but then add back in your mods. But even doing that, I've had to go back and, you know, I've had to just go through my mod folder, clean it out, and take out a couple hundred mods and just get rid of them because I'm not using them and it's too much to keep track and make sure they're updated and have the right version and everything else. So once you try adding some mods back in, if everything continues to work, and basically you can get everything you had in the game on a base map, then you start to think that maybe there's a problem or a conflict with the map you're using. If you're using a base game map, then that shouldn't be the case, but if you're using a mod map or an off mod hub map, that can be it as well. But typically it's mod conflicts. It's two mods that are not working together very well. You know, just as a quick example, I had, I think, what was it, Power Tools was the original one that came out on. Lets you do some stuff in the back end, gives you flight mode, toggle super strength, that kind of stuff. Just so when I'm setting up maps and moving stuff around, I can do stuff quickly so I can get to the actual, you know, episode part of the gameplay. And then Easy Dev Controls came out this week, and Easy Dev Controls is fantastic, so I downloaded it and immediately had some challenges with some double keybinds and things overlapping, and, you know, created a conflict between, let's say, Easy Dev, Power Tools, and Lumberjack, I think it was. with the ability to remove trees. So there's lots of things like that, and all three of those mods are great. It's no one's fault. They haven't done anything wrong. It's just modders can't anticipate all the ways that you're going to use the mod and how they're going to interact with all the thousands and thousands of mods out there. So do yourself a favor, do a little testing on your own before you just start claiming that mods don't work or they're broken or the modder didn't do a good job. You know, make sure there's not something that's going on your system as well. And like I said, I probably spent close to 4 hours today trying to figure out what was going on with that original barn we had, making sure it wasn't conflicting with something else I had, and I just could not get it to work. And finally was at the point where everything was set up and should be working, and the straw just wasn't even being used. I was putting straw in the barn, it wasn't going anywhere, so no manure was being created. And at that point I had to just sort of say, yeah, you know, at this stage, that barn's not working, not doing what it's supposed to do. So just some advice on how you can test that stuff, because I know playing with mods is a lot of fun. It can certainly be challenging at times, but you know, I think that's part of the beauty of the system, is you got to fight a little bit to get ahead at times. So just my insight. I'm certainly not an expert, but you know, just from experience and trying to keep things running, you know, that's how I test my mods. That's how I get through mod conflicts. That's how I do that kind of stuff. So if you have problems or have questions, feel free to drop me a comment down below. I'm happy to offer you any advice that I can from my experiences. Like I said, I'm certainly not an expert, but you know, I've been through it a couple times, and if I can offer anyone some advice to, you know, make things work out, that's great, because there's nothing worse than being excited about getting a mod and putting it in and then it doesn't work and do what you want it to do, and your excitement turns to frustration. So anyways, back on track. So let's get, oh come on, you could make that corner. Come on, make the corner. We'll go the other way then. Let's get back on track here. We're going to spread some more manure. What's interesting is, and you'll see here in a minute, this field tends to take manure very well, which it is right now. Nice, even application. You can see the different soil types. You can see, you know, we're getting stuff done. Our other grass field, which I think we're going to have enough to get to here in a minute, really struggles with the nitrogen application from the manure. I'm not really sure what that's about. It's obviously the same map. Maybe it's a different soil type or something of that nature, but in general, seems like it shouldn't struggle as much as it does. And I don't know if that's a precision farming setting or if that's just the way, you know, some of this is going to be, but I just find it really interesting that this field seems to very easily take manure very evenly, works really well, and the other field seems to be very, very splotchy. So let me get through this field here real quick, and then we'll jump over to the other grass field and spread whatever remaining manure we have, and then we will jump back in. So I'll see you guys in just a minute over at the other field. Alright guys, that is the big grass field done. I'm going to jump out down here at the end and give you guys the precision farming reading off of this field. Let's just pause right here, jump out real quick. So our nitrogen is perfect at 60 out of 65. We do need to add some lime for the pH. It's starting to get a little bit low. So let's grab as much of the rest of the manure as we can and head over to the other field. And you guys will see down in that bottom left-hand corner where the map is just so much different on this field than the other one. Very splotchy, super oversaturated. We have so much, excuse me, nitrogen. It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, look how splotchy that is. Some of it's red, some of it's orange, and certainly our soil map, if you want to look at that. Here, let's jump out and let's take a quick look at the map and look at the soil map here. You can see this field where the tractor is, I mean, it's only sandy loam and loam, that's it, and it's not splotchy, it's striped. So it's not like the ground type is just all mixed up on this map and you know, it's getting everything else. I just don't understand why this field is such a struggle to get a consistent nitrogen application on. It's just all over the place. And in the end, in order to get rid of the red areas like where we're in now, a lot of the other areas end up turning green and we have way too much nitrogen, which as far as I can tell from precision farming and my experience in Farm Sim 22, doesn't actually hurt grass. Grass just sort of subtracts nitrogen at every harvest or every cut, and then you keep working down. So you can actually have, in my experience, way too much nitrogen on your grass, and it really doesn't change anything. You can actually sort of store extra nitrogen in the field that way. We'll have to check and see what the yield bonus is going to be on this field when we're done spreading, to see if maybe they change that for Farm Sim 25. So we'll do a couple laps around here. I'll bring you guys back in when we are done, and we'll take a look at the soil data and the yield data to see if it's going to make a difference. So I'll catch you guys in just a minute. That is the end of the manure, guys. Didn't quite get the whole field, but got most of it. I did get this entire area down here at the end. So let's jump out. So this says nitrogen is perfect at 150 out of 55 kilograms per hectare. So we have 3 times as much nitrogen down as needed for the grass. Over here we have 105 out of 55, 60 out of 55, 125 out of 65. This area up here I don't think I got. Yes, we have 15 out of 55 on this area I didn't get. I may come back and get some slurry. And then around the outside, we're 60 out of 55. So it just seems like the nitrogen levels on this field are all over the place, unlike the other field. I'm not sure what that's about, but that is just something that's going on here on the farm that we're getting through. It's not a big deal. I guess I did say I'd check the yield. What does it say? We don't have any expected yield data because it still has to grow because it's recently harvested. So we'll have to try to remember to check that before we mow it next time. So let's get this guy put away. Let's get a manure heap placed. And I have an idea based on some of the testing I did about a really nice location that I think is going to solve a lot of our challenges. So let's come in here. Nope, not going to get it first swing. Talking too much and not driving enough. Get her straightened out around the post, then hook her back in. There we are. And we are in and square. Give that a second to detach. There we are. Okay, get the Fiat parked over here out of the way, get that turned off. So first order of business, we're going to, actually the first order of business is always to save, guys. I tell you that and I didn't even do it. Save before doing construction in case you have any regrets. So, done saving, jump into the construction menu. The first thing we're going to do is to remove the old manure heap. I'd prefer not to have 2. I thought we might have to have 2, but we don't. So we're going to skip that. We're going to go ahead. I'm actually going to come down here and we're going to put it right here next to the greenhouse. And I think that's going to catch both of our barns and may feed our greenhouses the manure, so we don't have to be moving it by hand unless there's an issue. So silo extensions, we'll come right back in here, grab the one. I want to make sure we're on grid snapping, so I want that to be up there nice and tight. $10,000, perfect, nice and easy. Let's go ahead and paint that. I don't know why this particular manure heap comes with mud in the bottom, but the mud, the the Massey just gets stuck in it, just gets absolutely bogged down. So, and then we're going to smooth all the rest of this out, make it disappear. I think there was a spot down here that was giving me trouble the other day. So, okay. So that is our new manure heap, all set up and good to go. And if you look at that in the bottom right-hand corner, we are connected to the Greenhouse 2, Greenhouse 1, Teen Town Barn, and the Birthing Barn. So we are all set in regards to getting manure from both of our barns and distributing right to the greenhouses because they're next door. So that is really, really good news. Let me check on our cows, and if we are all set. Birthing barn, they are full. They've got straw. They don't need water. Just double checking that. I'm saying it, but just want to make sure this barn doesn't take water. It doesn't. Let's go back to the top of the list. We have the bullpen. They've got a bunch of hay. They've got some grass. Yeah, they've got 27,000. They're good. I have moved the bullpen over to hay to get their productivity up, try to push their values. We got a couple of bulls, 2,500, 26, 25, 27, 24, basically, 3,600. We got a couple bulls that we need to be thinking about selling here. So something on our horizon. Teen Town, our new adolescent cow barn. We still have 13,000 liters of TMR and then some hay, so they got 20,000 liters to get through overnight. I didn't check the water on the bullpen. They are full at 60. I did get them. Okay, Adult Swim, the breeding pen, they got 60,000 liters of water, 26,000 liters of hay. They are good to go. Birthing barn, we just checked. And the igloos, I know I topped off. We can power through those. And then obviously our chickens still have 46,000 liters of food, so they are good to go. So with that in mind, guys, I will see you guys in December. Here we are, and we have manure in our new manure heap, guys. That is good news. 19,858 liters of manure to be specific. The cows ate 27,000 liters of TMR overnight. They produced 3,800 liters of milk, 105 liters of buffalo milk, and they went through, we have 18,000 liters of straw, so about 4,500 liters of straw. Yeah, so they are good to go. So let's get the milk collected, and I think that's going to be about it for this episode. I do want to use our new milk, our new sanitized, cleaned, repainted, and repurposed trailer for getting our milk. And I don't know if I got the milk out of the birthing barn before we moved all the animals, so maybe we'll swing by there since we have plenty of capacity. So grab our milk trailer here. That's a nice looking trailer in white too. I love these universal tank trailers. They are a great trailer. All right, the milk is going to be right up here at the side door over here, down by our shovel for our Massey. So we'll just get backed in here and yep, there you go. The lid opens up. 3,846 liters going in. That would have been 2 trips with the old tanker. We did sell the old Abbey style tanker, the old little plastic one. So that is gone as well. We may have already... Yeah, just some buffalo milk, so we don't have any more. We can go around and collect the buffalo milk too before we head out. So guys, that was a great episode, just as far as getting back on track. I'm super excited to have our mixing truck. That is making a huge difference. I think we're going to go through, and you can even check the sale right now. We probably need to get a straw blower. Go down to the bottom, see what we have. Ooh, the Fendt for 69,000, 171 horsepower, and I bet it comes with Iceria Pro Compact. Guys, that's a $15,000 option. I may be doing, wow, that's 84,000. Man, oh man, and that's not even with the engine upgrade. The engine upgrade is another 17, it's 101. Ooh, that is tough. I might do a bunch of tree work between episodes to be able to buy that, because that would be a great addition. The Vermeer baler, there's actually a cool mod with this one that has a mower on the front. That's nice, but I like our bale setup we have now. More anhydrous stuff we don't need. Pallet handling we don't need. Got some fiber, some of the mixing stuff. The big harvester, that'd be nice. You know, this one's not a bad option, but it's only 110 horsepower for the other small Fiat. You know, we need a tractor that's a little bit bigger and has some more modern amenities, because the other thing is, guys, with the Fendt, we could start to use either real GPS or even just do the AI assist, like lane assist that comes in the base game with a more modern tractor, because this will have some screens. Yeah, it's got a screen up there. It's got that GPS antenna on top. So this is a modern tractor, and we haven't used any of those features yet. So that we'll see what happens next episode. You might come back and there might be a new tractor. But while we're here, let's get the rest of that buffalo milk, get it moved towards our very first pallet of buffalo mozzarella. Still think we're a long way off. We can check as we head out, but you know, as we keep adding to it, it will eventually add up to one pallet of the very expensive buffalo mozzarella, which is going to be a way that we try to make some money on this ranch. 105 liters there. We had, what, about 300 over here on the other side. Have to check and see. And I will, as always, get the calves moved. 270, so 376 total liters of buffalo milk to add to whatever we already have in here. But as I was saying, I will, as always, get the pregnant females moved, the calves moved, the adolescents moved, everyone fed and watered, and so we can come back and have a full and productive episode. So the milk tanker is emptied. Let's step in here and see. We have 1,122 liters of buffalo milk. We have just under 3,000 liters of cheese. I think that excludes these. No, I think it does include those from last time. So getting up there on the cheese, but we are making good progress. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode. Make sure to drop a like and turn on notifications for more episodes, and I'll see you in the next one.